Okay, so I'd like to welcome Adam and Beth to Sailing into Freedom. Thank you guys for
Not
your
feeling
time.
into boredom.
And I was- Hey, you've been watching the show. Tell me your journey up to this point, right up to this point where you're talking to me about the Odyssey 48. How did this all come about?
I guess during lockdown or the pandemic, we spent a lot of time watching sailing videos, which like doesn't make us terribly unique, I guess. Um, and
First, he was watching monohulls, and he's like, "Think you can do this?" And I was like, "Hell no!" And then
yeah,
we watched catamarans, and I was like, "Well, maybe I can do that."
Okay.
And then we looked at some boats.
and it seemed like the one of the bigger troubles was just getting on and off the boat. We couldn't find a as is boat that had the handful of things that Beth needs to get around.
Okay, so you've looked at some other boats.
Well, I mean, once we got to where, okay, so let's see what there is. There were some that were close, and we're fortunate to be close to Annapolis here, so there's a number of boats to look at. Um, it and
So we started with the Neil 51,
Okay,
right,
yeah.
which has the main cabin up and the head up, and so that was desirable.
but it was tough to get onto the boat for her.
Yeah.
The way on is like to step out of the sugar scoop, which amounts to stepping over a fair bit of water, and sort of hopping from the deck, from the dock
Right.
onto the boat.
Right.
And that's
So we didn't tell my story.
So maybe, Beth, we should talk about how you are less able.
In August of 2017, 1 month after my 49th birthday, I had a massive,
I would call it massive,
a
near
massive stroke,
life-threatening.
life-threatening and massive stroke. So I was 49, and I thought I had 40 or 50 years ahead of me to travel the world and see the world.
Yeah.
And then
And
all of a sudden, my life was changed overnight.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So the way I describe myself to people is I have no use of my left arm, and I have very limited use of my left leg. I
Okay.
can walk with a cane, but it's very slow and very difficult.
Okay.
So
and
I tend to spend my days watching TV and reading. I leave the house some, but not a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to get out and see the world as much as I can.
so when we were
Well,
younger, before we had kids, we traveled a lot. We spent 3 weeks in France one time. We went to the UK and Africa for 3 weeks, and yeah, so we got to where she's got a little bit of issue with moving quickly, but not with balance or anything,
Yes, I mean I can walk around by myself around the house, but
and up the stairs
and up
and
the stairs, but I'm very slow.
okay. Okay. Well, thankfully, there's only rare occasions where you have to be quick on a boat anyway, and you might avoid those anyway. But those situations are hazardous for able-bodied people anyway. So you just have to manage it. So that begs the question. Some might question your motivation in going to sea in with Beth being less able. That some might say it's just too risky. What do you say to those people?
well, I mean, I guess it's sort of a kind of a fair question, but I mean, I think that Beth said a minute ago, there's risk in everything, first of all, and second, I mean, I think one way to look at that sort of concern is that we could hang around the house and watch TV, and once in a while fly somewhere on vacation for a week, for many years. or we could actually go see the world in our retirement. We could see something, and it seemed like,
Absolutely. I think you're
yeah,
doing the right thing. Look, even for an able-bodied person, going on a boat is risky. I mean, there's times I can think of, six six times just off the top of my head when I was alone without autopilot, and it was just risky for me. I think probably there are going to be situations where there's going to be problems, but the best thing that you can have, Adam, is if you can get Beth. Like for example, sometimes you need someone at the helm. So
right,
provided she can hear you and she can follow your directions, that was the situations I got into the most where I needed someone on the helm and I didn't have anyone. So I
right.
was badly going from the front to the back and, adjusting the steering, putting an ocky strap. So provided she can do that, I think you're going to get away with, 90% of the problems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's more to some of the accommodations we needed on the boat. One of them is to be able for Beth to be able to reach where the helm is in one way or another.
Yeah.
And of course, in this boat, it flips down to the cockpit level. So that should be fine. She can I mean, she can certainly steer and follow directions and stuff. Pulling
Yeah.
ropes with one hand, would be possible, I guess, with electric
Well,
winches. You know
you
what I
can have
mean?
electric winches with a knee button or a toe button, and she
Right.
can tail with one hand that way.
Yeah.
Look, I think
Right. Right. Right.
Right.
for those people that say it's too risky, number one, I'd say tell them to get stuffed, and number two is you can't live in a box. I think it's manageable. I think you can do it. Just sail to the seasons. Don't do anything stupid. Maybe don't do anything that I do on Sailing into Freedom. Oh no, hold it. That's Odyssey. One of the Odyssey um, partners is trying to call me. So where was I? What
Get
was I saying?
stuffed.
Oh yeah, tell them to get stuffed. And I I really
I
think
like that answer.
yeah, okay, let's just leave it at that. Tell them to get stuffed, manage your risk. I think you'll be fine. So I understand that you've sat down with David and Marco and done a walkthrough of the boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
A handful
Okay.
of. Mhm.
And basically you've discussed what you needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when I was speaking to
Being safe
Marco,
and being smart was kind of what led us to the Odyssey.
well, when I was talking with Marco and David, they want to give people a personal touch. So if you've got some issues or you need some certain things, they're more than willing to accommodate and try and fit it into the design. So I'm glad about that. So how about let's just have a look at what you guys need, and we'll discuss and tell us why you need them.
Okay.
All right, so let's have a look at the side door. So you're on a finger berth. You've got the boat on the side.
Yeah. So this is the sugar scoop
Yeah.
thing. You step off and turn 90 degrees onto this little step, and but Beth walks fine, but it's slow and deliberate, and so some sort of gangplank or passerelle or something is really needed for her to easily walk onto the boat, because it's gonna take a few minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Now tell us about the transom door between the davits. How is that going to help you?
So the same problem getting on the boat, I have the same problem getting onto the dinghy. And so that door will help me get into the dinghy.
So the plan is for coming and going on the dinghy that she uses that door, sits down in the dinghy, and then we lower it into the water. And then I
Okay.
can hop in. And similarly, maybe more importantly, when coming back, same deal. Just sort of lift the dinghy up, and then she can, step right through into the cockpit of the boat.
Okay. I think it's possible. There's going to be a couple of issues. You need to, because normally dinghies are fastened from the center. And
Yeah,
if that's the case, as soon as Beth gets in, it'll tip and she'll fall in the drink. So you'd need to
right.
have some V's out to the side to actually support her. You'd need to tether the boat also to the transom. Look, I think it's doable. It's just things
Yeah.
that you're gonna. I mean, we can think about how to get around it now, but in actual fact, the practicalities when you're there, you'll work it out. I think you'll work it out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's been the case with a lot of the rehab is figure out how to make it work. You know, whether that's a shower bench or a door in the side of the transom.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Okay. So this is the other thing where you wanted to have was the head in the saloon.
right.
This is to avoid going up and down the stairs too much. Is that correct?
Well, just I'm often in a hurry.
You and me, sister. You and me.
And getting down the stairs in a hurry is hard.
Yeah, that's not hard to engineer in. It's basically just a head there with a cushion on the top.
And a curtain.
Yeah, and a curtain.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't have a curtain. I'd just say, everyone, look away.
um, the putting that in the bench and stuff was
That was Marco's
was
idea.
all Marco's idea. I mean,
Right.
we knew we wanted to have available up in the off the salon,
Yeah.
and
That's an easy fix. Okay, so
yeah,
what else do you need? You need the stairs to be what, less steep? You need rails on either side of the stairs. Is that correct?
Yes, I need rails on both sides.
Depending on if you're going up or down, because you can only
Exactly.
basically use your right hand. Okay, and
Yes.
you just need more hand holds everywhere,
Yeah,
really.
throughout the cab, throughout the saloon, and definitely downstairs. Yes, I looked a little at statistics on the number of people who have disabilities like mine,
Oh, yeah.
and in my age group, it's like 7% of women my age have some sort of mobility disability.
Okay.
It's like 5% of men my age. So there's a lot of people that could benefit from these sorts of accommodations.
Well, absolutely, absolutely, and all it requires is just a discussion with Marco, a walkthrough, and just seeing what you need. So
right.
I'm so
But,
glad this is happening for you. Well, look, thank you again for joining me and explaining your story, your journey. And I wish you the best. And I'm so glad you're not like one of the countless others that have resorted to the idea that you're just going to sit in a damn apartment and watch your damn TV and watch your golden years go by when you could go out sailing and adventuring and see the damn world. So well done.
right. Thank you.